We're there. We're live. We're
OP,
live.
bro.
OP. 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 OP.
Wait, I need to click. I need to get my 7-day watch streak.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to start early. We are casting this live, but it's going to become a YouTube video. So, hi to all the YouTube viewers on Barcast's YouTube. Uh, Coincidentally, we're casting actually Barcast himself, the man himself, the legend, admin, host, gamer, player, whatever it might be. Hopefully he wins, although I don't think he will. I think Randy's a little bit more favored, but it hopefully will be a good game. What do you think, Slick? Do you think, as far as I understand, Randy's kind of like the old school proven legend, but he's kind of not been as strong more recently. And then Barcast has never really hit top 8 consistently, as far as I understand in BPL, but has been like a top 16er for a while. But he's been better and better recently. So do you think it's kind of close? Who are you favoring? What do you think it's going to be?
I definitely think it's close. Randy is probably the most experienced player in TA history. I think he's been playing 1v1s ever since Total Annihilation. Barcast has been practicing a lot recently, and he's also a really good, really high level player. I honestly can't call this game. I think it's safe to name Randy as the favorite, but I don't think it's going to be one sided at all. I think anything can happen.
All right. Well, that's good to hear, right? We want to hope for a close match, an even match. Um, so we're happy to hear hopefully that it's gonna be that. Yeah, I'm looking right now at the stats, and actually BCTV I think has top 16 the last 3 of 4 BPLs. No, 2 of 4 BPLs. But I don't think he's ever been top 8. So if he made it out of this group, he would like personal best, I guess.
Yeah, I think Barkas has had some unlucky moments in the past BPLs, which is quite ironic because he's literally the one hosting this tournament. But he's been really unlucky with the qualifications and stuff like that. But he's looking really solid this time around for sure. Like we've practiced together with him as well. Yeah, he's looking really really good, and he is at his peak OS.
Yeah, we the TM guys or we the competitors in the tournament.
We the TM guys, yeah.
Yeah, you TM guys have been hush hush secret lobbies, you know. I always see you. I always try to join to spectate, just for
hmm
funsies, and then you guys are cloak and daggers, hidden. Same thing with the Mega Series. You guys are very practiced, very serious.
Yeah, I mean, practice just helps you come up, sort out all those weaknesses and stuff. Obviously, we didn't win Omega with all the practice we
Yeah,
did,
but it
and
was
we.
you got pretty far. You did pretty good. You can't hate. It pays off, right? Compared to us, we did none of that. So
And you guys came so far as well. Honestly, yeah, your team was the most surprising for sure. Like everybody loved how far you guys got, and everybody related to you a lot more because you guys are kind of like the team of the people. You guys just like 5 rotato guys in a team, no strats, barely any co-op.
yeah, yeah, we were lucky. I think. I obviously wanted to do better. I also kind of regret not playing this BPL, but too much. Even for me, who's competed and played in a lot of tournaments, it's so stressful. You know, it's so anxiety, nerves, everything. You're still in it, right? Or are you out?
I'm not out.
So you'll
I
play the loser of
Yes, that is
this.
correct. Yes,
So it's
exactly.
so you're getting a little bit of scouting information here. One, you're casting it, but you're also getting a little info. You're seeing the bands and the picks, and you're gonna see the strats, and you're gonna see how they play. So it's a great opportunity for you.
Well, all of these replays are public. They immediately get posted to a public Google Drive as they end. So it's not like we're cheating,
Okay,
but it's
okay,
definitely nice
okay,
to have the
okay.
front row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna be taking notes on the side. You're gonna be casting and trying to be entertaining, and then at the same time, like, hmm. So
Yeah,
when's that?
if you
When's that taking place? Is that tomorrow?
I don't know, it's not scheduled yet. These group games in BPL are always on a person to person basis. You just DM the person and you schedule it and that's that.
Well,
Yeah.
let's take a look at the schedule. As of right now, what is on the schedule. It should be played today or tomorrow, is what it says. But I guess you're just gonna have to check in with whoever loses, which is awkward. You're gonna cast him, and then you're gonna have to message him right after and be like, "Hey, how's it going? So when are we gonna play?"
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it's gonna go.
Yeah, it's always very awkward, I think, to I don't know, go through that process as an interviewer or as somebody who has to connect with people after they lose. I was always like a little pissy diva.
Oh yeah.
So like, I was always a dick, but it is what it is. You got to do your job. You know what I would love to see? I don't know if they do this because this is my first BPL. Do they do winner interviews? Maybe like round of 8 forward, or does everyone just play and then that was the end of it? I also was hoping for a mega series we would have gotten a like, I don't know, a little interview.
The winner gets the interview. Only
Okay.
the person who wins it all gets the interview. That's the tradition. And for team tournaments, only the team that wins the whole thing gets the interview. Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Did they do that for a mega series? Who got the interview?
Oh, I don't remember if they did it last time. I remember we just lost and then we were kind of talking about the games and stuff. I'm pretty sure they did it. I seem to remember always the winning team hopping on mics real quick and
Okay.
glazing themselves, whatnot.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going to be in the game very soon as we load in. Sorry, I check map. Uh-oh. Maybe some confusion here.
Oh
Hey,
no, I think Randy. So Randy, I think in my mind, he's a mind gamer.
okay.
I think when he picked this map, he said something along the lines of first time playing it or something, and now he's saying, "Sorry, let me look around the map." He's trying to basically say that he's never been in this map before or whatever, which might be true, might be not.
Yeah, he might just be honest, but he also could be like, fucking with him a little bit. But these spawns, this is the normal spawn, right? I think this is the typical standard spawn where you have on the right side the blue player spawning on the top side and
Battle started.
the left side on the bottom left. I did see X Factor versus Autopilot where they spawned horizontally, but this is more standard as far as I understand, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say that this map is brand new. It's 2 weeks old. The map maker uploaded it just at the maybe not 2 weeks, maybe three, something like that. I don't think it's developed enough so we can have a so-called standard spots. But yeah, I would say this is as close as it gets.
Okay. So this is kind of standard, but nothing's really developed meta-wise. It
I
is a
wouldn't call it
vehicle.
crazy.
It is vehicles though, for the most part, right? From what your experience, what you've seen.
Well, yes, yeah, vehicles seem to be king, but anybody can make anything work. This is what we keep learning every day. Every day a new strat seems to pop up in this BPO. It's actually the meta has evolved a lot this tournament, I would say.
What's the craziest thing you've seen?
Well, I don't know about crazy, but pounder on repeat seems to be
Yeah,
a thing.
pretty good. Pretty good. Yep,
Yes, yeah.
pretty good. I did see
Just,
Autopilot versus X Factor on this map. They did Pounder, but then they also did Czar on repeat. They're just
well,
constant.
Zara is just fantastic on this map. And Armada doesn't really have an equivalent. It's just tight chokes. We're
Yeah,
probably going to see this game. But yeah, so what are the players starting for? So we see Randy core vehicles and Barcast core vehicles as well. All right.
very standard. So far. So far.
Yeah, mirror matchup, diagonal spawns. This will untangle a little bit later into the game.
And it looks like Pro BCTV is going to go for that early scout, just trying to check where his opponent is, and then he does come out with the con. Randy a little bit greedier, opening two cons. And this is kind of like the rock, paper, scissors meta that you see that develops, right? Randy's going to have a slight advantage, playing a little greedier, not getting punished as of yet. And Pro BCTV, kind of more standard, a little aggression, just trying to see what his opponent's up to.
Yeah, Barcast went for a lot of scouts. He obviously I think scouting early is really good on this map because you want to see where your opponent spawns at, right? He can spawn in two different sectors. You want to see which one it is. Barcast has that advantage because he already checked bottom right, sees that Randy is not there. But he probably needs to get some damage in with these scouts. Yeah,
Yeah, if
he
he
made quite a lot.
doesn't, he's going to be slightly behind eco-wise. You can already see Randy's being very aggressive, expanding out. Oof. How does the Rascal versus Rascal micro work? Do you want to be kiting? I always feel like it's like 50-50, no matter what I do. If I kite with Rascals, if I run Adam with Rascals, it never feels consistent.
Yeah, they don't feel very consistent. They do tend to miss. A recent update to the game made all lasers 100% accurate in tier 1. Rascals did not get the same treatment because they don't technically have a laser weapon. It's a
Mm,
beam or whatever.
mm.
They do feel inconsistent. From my experience, you don't want to be the Rascal that's turning,
Okay,
and you don't want to be the Rascal that's chasing.
okay.
And other than that, it's pretty 50-50.
So it's a little bit of like knights jousting. You just run at them and pray,
Yes.
right? Like, and if you turn, you know you're playing chicken. You just lose. There's a
Well,
decent
yeah, exactly.
there's a decent amount of reclaim too. If you see on these like little I don't know what to call them, spokes, hills, uh,
Post Files is their official name.
post piles,
Yes,
like
that's the name of the
garbage
map. Is
piles.
Devil's Post Files. Well,
Okay,
I don't know
post
about garbage.
piles. Well, I think post. I think compost pile. You know, like a big turd. It kind of looked turdy too. Well, maybe that's not the intent of the map maker. I assume not.
No. But yeah, that's a very interesting feature of this map. It makes going for an air switch earlier a bit more beneficial.
Mm.
You get to secure a lot of basically uncontestable metal extractors and reclaim for yourself. So it makes this map unique in a way. I've really grown to like this map over the days as we get to learn more about it. It's very unique.
Yeah, I've never played this map. I'm curious. I would have loved to seen like a metal extractor right in the middle. I feel like that's a consistent thing that we see across maps. They always put like a kind of important metal spot right in the middle of the map, but I guess it's just very equal, very symmetrical, right? Uh,
Yes, thank Lord. We have a lot of asymmetrical maps in bar,
yeah,
and
and you
symmetry is definitely the way you want to go.
yeah, keep it even, keep it Steven. So just trading, both players, not really getting any big advantages. Pro BCTV really didn't do any damage with his early aggression, so he is a little bit behind. Both players playing pretty standard and expanding. It does look like Randy's actually going to be the one that gets a few metal extractors. He gets a couple at the bottom, and he got a couple on the top left side as well. So just taking that early lead and pushing it a little further. Pro BCTV is going to clean it up, but you know he's a little bit behind, and we can already see the spectators. Your brothers in arms, TM, posting that he's going for this early geo, and on the opposite side. Pro BCTV just a little bit behind still, right? It's like almost every step he's a little bit behind. At some point he's going to have to figure out how to pull back into this game. But if he does nothing and it's just a standard game, feels like Randy's going to pull ahead further and further. I also think just my own personal experience, Pro BCTV is like kind of like the standard I don't know, like tier 2 pro player, right? Like he's not quite that X Factor level, but he's so clean, so practiced, like everything he does is almost perfect, but he just doesn't have like that, I don't know, like that killer instinct, that killer edge, and I'm worried that he's not going to like, try to push and be aggressive or do something to bring himself back into this game. And Randy's just going to end up being, a bit ahead all match.
I think that's a pretty accurate way to describe him. Yeah, Barkas is this. He has very solid fundamentals, very clean macro. Never forgets stuff like radars and stuff. Randy, very tricky. He's been playing for a very long time. Has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how this game develops. With that being said, though, even though Randy did get some nice damage, Barcast is not terribly behind or anything. In fact, he is a little bit up in expansion. As you can see, his commander made it to that other sector in the top left first. So even though he lost some mixes, he actually got new ones faster, and he already has a second base setup, which is also something very popular on this map. I really like to see it.
Yeah, that second vehicle lab pushed. And then when they start trading, they also will throw down possibly a bot lab just for resers. But that second vehicle lab just giving you a lot of potential to, pump out an army, pump out cons, secure that other geo. A lot of action that can be put forward with that. Spectators helping us here, pinging different things. It looks like Randy might be scared of some kind of air transition. I know personally, Randy has said specifically he doesn't like playing air. I don't like playing air either, so I kind of relate, but it kind of does
Mhm.
force him to like, automatically he's just building anti-air turrets. And I feel like not going air on this map specifically with the compost piles has got to be a mistake. I gotta stop saying
Yeah.
that. The map maker's gonna hate me. They're gonna be like, this guy's ruining my map, calling it shit. That's not my intent, trust me.
No, I know the map maker. He's a really cool dude.
Okay.
Yeah, you like him. His
Okay.
name's Aiden. Yeah, air transitions are really good on this map. We already saw in the X Factor versus Autopilot game, X Factor leaned a little bit heavier on air. He made a lot more air constructors. He sent them out everywhere, and then even though he sustained some damage while that was going on, he at the end of the whole thing in the aftermath he had more uncontestable mexes, and the game was pretty equal. So yeah, air very good on this map. Nothing major so far this game. Both players kind of just poking and prodding around each other's bases. As I'm saying that, it seems like a constructor is going to go down for Barcast in the south. No manages to save it. Yeah,
Very
nothing
interesting.
crazy so far.
I feel like this Randy push in the north side's very interesting. Oh, Barcast actually might lose that con. He's kiting, does end up losing the con. A little bit of a miss micro. You gotta imagine both players are pretty nervous here, right? This is the winners match as far as I understand, or is this the first match? This is the first match outside of you. So you played your first match. This is their first match. Winner GSL style groups. Winner gets an advantage, right? Am I correct in
Uh,
that?
no, this is both of these players already won
Oh,
once.
yeah, you
So
played
whoever
Randy
wins,
first. Yeah, yeah,
that is
yeah.
true.
You played
And
Randy
Barcast play
first.
Modulo.
Okay, and they both won. So if they win, they know they're done until next weekend. So it's like a nice mental battle. If they win this, they're very happy. They don't have to worry. And if they lose this, they know they have to go into the final match against you. And you're a scary guy,
Yes.
Vic. Your voice is not scary, but your playstyle a little scary, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What would you consider maybe you consider yourself an underdog against them a little bit? How do you feel
Oh yeah.
going up against them? So like slight underdog, but you can make it competitive. You could turn some games.
Yeah, I feel like I could put on a show, put up a fight. It'll be an interesting game, but yeah, an underdog for sure.
Okay.
They have years and years of experience on me.
And how long have
Yeah,
you been playing?
since December,
Oh
actually.
damn. So I'm about the same. I'm like almost a year now. So we're kind of on the same trajectory. I don't
Yeah.
think I've played as many 1v1s as you, but we're both fairly new players, which is unusual. Like you said, most people who play Bar or TA or Supreme Commander, whatever, they've been playing for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these matchups, it feels like you're going up against a mountain of experience,
Hmm.
and it can feel that way in game as well. Nice few back and forths this game. It looks like Barcast is getting a nice army group going into Randy's second base on the south. Randy doesn't have a lab set up in the area or anything. Only one LLT for the defense is going to go down. This could be very nice damage. Randy obviously working on that second geothermal on 60%. He could lose it. That will be good damage for Barcast. Let's see what he does with these four brutes.
Yeah, he only has incisors in the area. He could technically clean this up if Barkas makes mistakes or he had some cheeky self Ds on mexes. Oh, it does look like Shuris are going to come in. Shuris actually probably will turn it and save the base, but maybe too little too late. He's going to lose all these mexes. And I honestly am taking Randy at his word. Given what he's done so far this game on this map, I don't think he has a lot of experience at all. You can see in the north side as the spectators ping, like he's sending 3 cons out. Just the ground constructors building a line of LLTs in the middle of the map, and then he's also actually going to make air. And although he's making these air turrets, I don't know if he has room to make mexes on this hill actually.
Oh my god, I think he misclicked. I think he didn't mean to make that second netto. I think that was supposed to be a metal extractor and he did a little misclick. But I really like the air cons regardless.
Yeah, the air cons are nice, and getting the forward anti-air turrets is nice. It does look like the 3 cons are going to get pushed back, but you can see like Randy's a little, I don't know, he's obviously a great player, but it feels a little disorganized as far as strategically what he's doing. He has no second factory at the bottom base. He's got 3 constructors in the middle of the map not doing much. He's building air turrets up on the hills, but missing the mexes. It feels like, he's a little bit of chaos. And honestly, Pro BCTV might be thrown off a little bit. He probably has no fucking clue. Like, what is this guy doing? This is not what I'm used to. There's a lot of air. And he's getting pushed back a little bit. It's a very close game. Army value is very similar. It looks like Pro BCTV is actually a little bit up in eco, but there is a strong air advantage for Randy here.
Yes, exactly. Randy likes the chaos. It feels like he's always doing something different to everybody else, and it definitely throws you for a loop if you're supposed to come up with a strategy to do with it on the fly. With that being said, a huge engagement happening over here on the south. Shuri's fighters. The fight actually happening right below where Randy has the two nettles set up. So any fighters that come in from Bark as they get shot down by static defense, very, very, very
A
advantageous
presence.
for Randy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he is losing the ground battle. Not enough Shuris available to stun the remaining tanks from Barcast. And it seems like this 3,000 metal on the ground might be. Barcast might take the most of it.
Yeah, I feel like Randy's definitely like over. Although the anti-air turrets are very nice, he has so many. He has some in his main base. He has some on the forward positions. He's making some with his 2 forward cons. I feel like Barcast is going to realize that there's an overinvestment in those turrets, and he's just going to pump out Whistlers, Thistles, whatever, Lashers. And if he can get enough Lashers, he's just going to create this big enough ground army, and he's going to just push him back.
Exactly. That is going to be a huge problem for anybody to deal with. And it seems like this 3,000 metal on the ground is basically as good as secured for Barcast, and that's huge. That's usually what decides these games. These big tank battles usually leave a lot of metal on the ground, and whoever gets it gets to usually go home with the game. Some lashers now, as you said, arriving to the front. These shuriken will not be able to do so much. Fighters swoop in. This is looking really good for Barcast at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like Randy has a majority of the map. If you zoom out far enough or you look at the mini-map, it does feel like he has more of the space just because he has such a big presence in the middle of the map. But he has it on a lot of useless army and defenses, right? He has all these anti-air turrets. It feels like Barcast really isn't over-investing in air. And then at the same time, he has this very strong ground army. And he's pumping from these 2 labs, right? He's just constantly pumping from these 2 labs. And then on the flip side, Randy, he has the 1 lab, and now he's trying to get up to tier 2. But as we often see in these games, like tier 1 can beat tier 2. Tier 2 is not the saving grace you would see in like 8v8s. Medium tanks are very good, and as long as you can put them to use and you're not fighting head on against the tier 2, you're usually going to trade up and you're going to do a lot of damage. And we can see Barcast feeling like he might smell blood in the water, and he's going to push forward, and he's going to split his units to make sure he can do damage.
I don't like this bottom right base at all at the moment. It seems like it's gonna go down geothermal and everything, but a little bit of a feed from Barcast, I would say, engages the reinforcing forces here from Randy. Is gonna leave a lot of metal on the ground that I don't think he can secure. And behind this, Randy is already tier 2, and he gets access to the advanced geothermal, to the advanced metal extractors. I don't know. We have to remember, before that reclaim fight happened that Barcast secured, Randy was ahead. He has more of the metal extractors because he went air early. I don't know. I think at this point the game is basically 50-50. And Randy has that tier 2 tech. Barcast is not even starting it. I don't know. I'm leaning blue a little bit here. What about you,
You're
HuK?
leaning blue. Yeah, I think so too, simply because he has the tier 2 and he's going to put a lot of pressure from this north side. I don't know if Barcast actually realizes, or, you know, it's very different for us as we can zoom out and we can take our time and we can survey the land. He did scout Randy's base at the bottom right, but I don't know if he actually realizes that he only has that 1 lab. I feel like if he did, he would be more aggressive and more trying to split his forces. He did push out this res botter. He did pump out a few resers, and then he's going to immediately eat that bot lab. But you can see that, you know, Randy is holding his own, and now that he has this tier 2 out, you gotta feel like Barcast, as soon as you see the tier 2, unless you feel like you can end the game, your thought is always like, oh shit, I'm behind. I need to get a tier 2 as well, right? As mentality
Exactly.
as a player, you're stressing. You're like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. And it's really hard, you know, like you don't have scan like in StarCraft. You could send scouts, but with how much anti-air Randy has, he has no real idea to know, you know, how close this game is. He just knows he has aggression. It feels like he has a bigger army, separate from the tier 2, and he needs to split his forces and attack as many angles as possible, right? It's basically going to be that, you know, these tigers are one tiger may be equivalent to something like 3 medium tanks, maybe 4. And you, as Barcast, you just want to split your forces, get as many raids, as many run-bys as possible, and do economical damage. And then at At the same time, if you can put that pressure on efficiently, it gives you time to back tech to your own tier 2. But we'll see if Barkas can actually pull that off. He did get his tier 2 out, and it looks like he's going to start ferrying his tier 2 to the top left and start upgrading his mexes.
Yeah, this is where I think Barkas, who had a little bit of the upper hand, he's practiced this before on this map. Along a lot of the times, what it comes down to into this tier 2 stage is who can upgrade everything more efficiently. As we know, the advanced geothermal is the best energy building in the game by far. And Barcast already has that top left base set up. He's already transporting tier 2 constructors up there. He can start upgrading right now. Randy doesn't have build power at his bottom base. He doesn't have a base there really at all.
Oh no.
So Barkas should be, even though he's later to tier 2, he should be able to pull ahead here in
Oh
upgrades.
no.
And
I don't know if that's true. I'm looking at his tier 2 con. Top left just got dropped, and it's rallied back to the main base.
oh no,
That's
making me eat my words.
Yeah, it's such an untypical Barkas. Oh, he fixed it. He realized. Sorry, go ahead. I feel like I would not realize that. I would set it, forget it, and never check. It's such a stress. You know, there's so much going on, and you got so much to focus on to realize that mistake and come back. I mean, it's a lot. We can see Barkas continuing to try to put the pressure, but Randy just building an ungodly amount of LLTs at the bottom right. I feel like he built 8, 9, 10, something like that. He did get the Geo, not the advanced Geo, but the regular Geo. But I don't know if it was a lot of damage. I feel like Red's maybe pulling ahead now. I don't feel like Randy has made great use out of his tier 2 thus far.
Yeah, Randy just made a bunch of tigers. Now we see Tsars running out for the blue player. But that raid on the south let Barkas know that, okay, that's still a basic Geo there. Even though he's first tier 2, he doesn't have that upgraded. And now it's down. He doesn't even have a foothold in the area. He's not upgrading there anytime soon. And that's a relief for sure.
Yeah, that player mentality, that not knowing how close the game is, or if you're ahead or behind. I think as soon as BCTV did that raid, even though he lost his full force and he died to like 10 LLTs, he's got to feel pretty good. Just seeing the base, seeing that there were no upgraded mexes, seeing there was no advanced Geo, he can assume, right? He probably assumes that Randy has his main base fully upgraded. But because he ferried his tier 2 at the top left side, he's upgrading both sides. He's got to feel like economically, he's probably pulling ahead, and as long as he can hold, he'll probably be, you know, in a winning position. And it feels like he has that mentality. He's just playing it safe now. He's holding his line. He's playing defensively. He feel like he did enough damage, and then he's probably going to try to kick in like 5 to 10 minutes and try to go for the killing blow. But as of right now, he probably feels pretty safe.
We see that the first Tsar from Randy finally hit the front line. I would say Tsar's a huge power spike on this map. It's just so tight with the water everywhere. Vehicles move really slow. Hard to run away from the Tsar. It always gets so much value, it feels like. And that's, you know, the list of reasons why we see Tsars on repeat on this map is not short. It's a really, really strong unit.
Does it do less damage if it splashes in the water? I feel like the explosion looks smaller, but it does the same amount of damage. Do you?
Yeah, I think it's just a visual thing. I think it does the full damage, yeah.
I feel like they need to up the audio cue at least, you know? I see it hit the water, I'm like, it doesn't seem that bad, and then it fucking everything dies anyways because it's a zone.
Yeah, it makes like a little drop of a sound, but it's a huge explosion.
You can see BCTV trying to make use of that top left lab. He just keeps raiding. Medium tanks, very good. He's going to actually get a great scout and possibly great damage. Randy's going to try to keep repairing, trying to defend this base. Oh, he's trying to make a wall with solars.
He's trying to block.
Yeah, he didn't quite get it. What do you aim for here, or do you just kind of set your units and forget it? I always want to see the explosion. I always go for the converters. People say it's not really worth, it's not that much damage, but it looks like he's just going to rally his units into the back of the base. And it's a lot about just APM stalling your opponent, right? It's so annoying when you get 2 or 3 units in the back of your base and you got to fix your rally your units, you lose a bunch of stuff. You can see Randy's kind of APM stalling here. These 2 tanks in the back just consistently doing damage.
Yeah, it takes more APM to chase stuff than to run stuff into the back of your opponent's base. Ideally, with a raid like that, the jackpot is killing build power. Not gonna find it, obviously, with this little tanks left, Barcast. But a full scout doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and he sees exactly what's going on. And Randy is getting a little APM stalled. He could just suck that tank. And it looks like he just got it in time. Didn't do it. Would you not like my suck term? That's the consistent
No, I love
one
it.
I always use, you know?
I love it.
Okay, great. Right. I knew you would.
A nice counterattack here from rANDY. 6 Tigers on the top of the map. Doesn't seem like there's much of anything to stop them. Tigers completely rode through any static defense unless it's tier 2, really. Only medium tanks and grunts available for the defense. I wouldn't say it's great. 6 Tigers, they could do a lot of damage. That's a lot of health.
If they
This
get that
advanced
Geo.
geothermal.
Yeah, if they get that Geo, it's going to be bad news bears. It looks like he's just giving it.
Yeah,
I'm so
not much of a
surprised.
response from Barcast. This is going to go down.
Oh no, he's going to lose this whole base and the grunts. That is a huge swing. A huge swing.
Yeah, that is bad. That is bad. Losing that much. Losing this many upgraded extractors and AGO and everything is bad. We have to remember, looking at the bottom right, rANDY doesn't even have that area basically started yet. So it's not like the game's decided, but it's a huge loss. He invested a lot in that area and now it's gone.
It feels like, I mean, I feel like Barcast had enough units, they just weren't in the correct position. He didn't, you know, take into account that I guess rANDY was just going to run it down with, you know, 10 to 12 Tigers, one from the south side, one from the north side. And you can see I guess the negatives of the Tsar, right? It feels like Barcast has a big army right in the middle of the map, 3 or 4 Tsars just sitting patrolling. But these Tigers making use of their mobility and running right past them and getting a lot of damage. And now it looks like he wants to continue that raid. Both players, I mean, just trading. Both players taking a lot of damage, kind of licking their wounds, but I don't know, close game.
Yeah, Tiger's really challenging to deal with. They're so fast and they have so much health. It's not like any static defense can really stop them. It's really tricky. You have to balance your own Tigers with the Tsar number. You can't just go Tsar and repeat just like that. We see the consequences. Yeah, really well done from rANDY. And I feel like that's where he shines, right? He just crosses himself out of whatever bad situation, like macro-wise or whatever he is in. We see he is actually floating 15,000 metal right now, trying to put down some emergency fusion reactors to be able to spend it. Yeah, I mean, this game could still go either way.
Yeah, rANDY's macro looking like my macro, and that's never a good sign. Better than my macro, but, you know, still, he's doing his best. I feel like if he can kick that 15k into units, he'll be sitting pretty. Bark has, I mean, I don't know, like cleaner play, right? It feels more structured, more standard, more typical. Aggression where it makes sense, trying to find opportunities where he feels like he should be strong. Playing more standard, but just getting caught on the back foot. And rANDY finding an opportunity maybe that he shouldn't. You gotta wonder, like, both players, like how comfortable they are, how stressful they are, how much nerves and anxiety are in the match. And I feel like if you're Barcast and you're going against rANDY, your clanmate, they're both in pro, you got to be looking up to him a little bit, right? He's been in the scene for such a long time. He's obviously a practice tournament winner. You probably were losing to him, you know, 90% of your playing career, and now you theoretically could beat him, but it's still, you know, maybe a little bit of a mental barrier.
That's a really good analysis. Yeah, I love the psychoanalyses of segments of this replay so far. You're as a seasoned veteran of the 1v1 genre.
Yeah, it's all from my own, you know, PTSD of, like, you know, getting crushed by Scarlet or someone else in StarCraft 2. So I can relate, you know, in my own way of having those mental battles and struggling to do well against players that typically are beating you. And it's a hill to climb up. It does look like Barcast is starting to mix in Rascals. Probably pretty useful, right, against the Tsars and the Tier 2, just to eat some cannon fodder. But you're really wondering what's rANDY's next move. It feels like he's going to start being aggressive here again very soon. And Barcast wants to, I think, restabilize the front line. I think he wants to restart splitting the map. He feels like his advantage probably is in the macro, and he's got these res bots. Whenever you have res bots and your opponent does it and you have access to the metal fields, you're always happy just to sit back and do your resing.
For sure, yeah. But I still expect rANDY to go on the aggression very soon. We see him slowly chewing through that 15k metal bank down to 7k at the moment. If you look over at his base, it seems like he's currently has 100 wasps on queue. Tier 2 air, very dominant on this map. It's especially considering the fact that victory lies in whoever blows up this AGO first, right? From their opponent's base. Barcast has not made that switch to tier 2 air. He's still in tier 1 fighters. He's planning to go for a tier 3 gantry very soon. It seems like he's just ecoing up for the moment.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
I'd love to see these wasps.
he still doesn't have an advanced geo in his main base. I don't know if that's it's got to be a mistake for Barkas, correct? You would assume you would upgrade the one in your main base first, and then you would start doing the ones out in the middle of the map second.
I totally missed that. Wow, he must have skipped. No, it's definitely not a mistake. I think it was a purposeful, mindful decision he made. I mean, it's nice, but at this stage of the game where he already has fusions, he definitely should not be taking it.
Yeah.
It's just giving your opponent a winning condition.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see. So he was probably an early game mistake, and then maybe he's left it at this point, knowing, hey, if I lose that, I just lose my whole base.
Yeah, ideally, it's probably best to take it in the early game and then turn it into a Cerberus or whatever later.
Hmm. How do you even
Like-
mechanically do that? Do you just eat it, or can you like back upgrade it?
no, you can put a
Change it.
Cerberus on top of a tier 2 Geo. Yeah,
Ah,
it just works like that.
I did not know
Retrofit.
that. I didn't know that. Oh, we
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
Serb already in the south side, shelling away. So it looks like it's going to be tier 2 air against an eventual tier 3. Feels like the tier 2 air is going to hit a lot sooner, and oh my gosh, that is a lot of wasps. Looks like he's just going to clean up these Zars probably.
Yeah, that's basically 7,500 metal of Red Army gonna go down. Quickly to respond with his own fighters, Barkas. He actually has a pretty good amount of fighters. I see about 50 tier 1 fighters. I don't know how much Randy has. He's quick to pull the wasps back to the base. He's making flak trucks.
And he's
It
just gonna
seems like
lose.
Randy's gonna win this.
Yeah, he's losing so much. These two forward little thistles providing a lot of protection. This other one too. There's just a lot of anti-air sprinkled around the map, and it's doing a lot.
Yeah, these two thistles, they have 34 kills. They have done more than was required of them throughout this game.
Yeah, their ranks, these little stars, man. These guys are generals. They need to find a retirement plan. They've done enough. You got to get them out of there now. Extract them.
Yeah. They can start looking for discounts.
Yeah, it looks like he's just gonna keep pushing with these wasps. He assumes that he has killed enough. He's trading fighters. He has tier 2 fighters against Barkas's tier 1, and he's just gonna push this air advantage. I'm eating my words here. Randy's saying that he hates playing air, and then I feel like most of this game he's been mostly, the air advantage player trying to push that aggression.
Randy says a lot of things that I think Randy likes messing with people's minds a lot. That's the sort of vibe I get.
Yeah, but why would he say that to me? We're never playing. We're not competing. Or maybe he.
Oh, that was a.
Yeah, it was just a comment to me on just chatting. But it feels like, I don't know. Maybe he feels that way, and then he just gets into the game and he's like, screw it. I'm gonna do whatever is fun, Or.
Yeah, probably. Who knows? That man is unreadable.
Oh, looks like he's gonna be making these. I don't know how to pronounce this unit. Karganeth? How do you say that?
Yeah.
Karganeth?
Spot on.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna build that just to clear these piles. But there's a big push coming on the south side. 2 Shivas against what? 12 Tiger tanks and 2 Zars. 1 Zar. Is 2 Shivas enough?
Yeah, they should clean this right up.
Is it gonna be fast enough though?
That's a good question. Yeah, no static defense available in the base, really. Shiva does a lot of splash damage, but Barkas kind of didn't micro them very well. Tanks are going to get into the base now.
D-guns.
Now the jackpot is the converters and the build power. Nice clutch D-guns from Barkas.
Yeah, if he gets enough D-guns, and it looks like the rest of these tanks are going to get decomposed, but at the same time, Randy continuing the pressure top left. So although Barkas will live to see another day, he is going to pay the price with this north base. And it looks like Randy is just like getting more comfortable, right? Feels like he's doing a lot of pressure. He's attacking on both sides. He's got these res spots out now as well. He's going to get basically 7k. He's going to rest this whole base most likely. And it looks like he's just in a commanding lead. If you look at the stats, it seems like it's nothing but blue. And Barkas does have tier 3. And it doesn't feel like Randy's too worried about it. He's just continually pumping tier 2. As long as he can continue to secure these metal fields, he should be sitting pretty. And he is building his little Aphis farm in the top right corner. Barkas, in the meanwhile, is just struggling to keep up. They do have similar metal and energy income but you gotta assume Randy's just gonna pull further in ahead, and as long as he can support these res bots in the top left. Oh, another advanced Geo going down. Yeah, it feels like Barcast is just completely on the back foot. He needs somehow to find a window of opportunity to push Randy's army back, but the army advantage for Randy is so big, it feels like he can almost just A-click across the map.
Yeah, I would say that as well. Randy has had time. He put enough pressure on Barcast that he now upgraded everything he was behind in. The entire bottom right area is upgraded. The the metal is spent. The factories are pumping. It's not looking good for Barcast. It would take a miracle, I would say, for him to turn this game around. But miracles happen all the time beyond the reason.
Yep. Well, we can hope, we can pray, but it does feel like it's a long shot. Barcast just has to find an opportunity to kill the army. It feels like that's his only hope. He needs to somehow secure the metal. He needs to be able to kick in. But as of right now, like, you know, Czar's, you know, not the best against tier 3, but not bad either. Tiger Tank, same thing. Shivas are strong. One of the strongest, if not strongest, tier 3 unit, pound per pound. What you're paying and what you're getting. But against, you know, this mountain of an army advantage for a new player, it's going to be very tough.
Fun fact, the Tsar shot and the Shiva shot are not too different at all. I'm pretty sure they have the exact same DPS, but the Tsar has better AoE and has that impulse. So Tsar versus Shiva is actually not a terrible matchup at all. They basically just lack the rocket, right? So
the rocket,
it's not even bad.
The mobility, but on a head-on fight, yeah, it feels more or less the same. You really, I mean, maybe if Randy would have to int his army, his air army. A lot of his money is in the air. So if somehow Pro BCTV could, you know, have enough flags, have enough air defense, Randy goes for a killing blow, messes it up, maybe Barcast can win. But at this point, Randy has 24 Wasp. He has a Dragon. It looks like he's winning the ground army slightly by a good margin. And then he just has this air army as backup. So if Barcast pushes too far, he can defend with it. If Barcast sits back, he can eventually kill Barcast with it. There's just a lot of options when you have this big of an advantage. And it looks like Randy's trying to cover his bases by you know, having an air army that can do it all. Can it defend, can attack, and end the game. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to come and try to crush BCTV's army in the top left. And he's going to crush it pretty hard. It does not feel like Barcast has the anti-air here to defend.
Yeah, that's many of the great things of having the air superiority in a game like this is it just allows you to breathe, right? You can attack, you can defend, you can do whatever you want with the air advantage, and your opponent can't really do much until he catches up. So it just gives you a lot of freedom. We see Randy now engage with his wasps and with his dragons. Some tier 1 anti-air available both in bot form and in the Eradicator. Eradicator, fantastic against dragons, but the tier 1 bots wouldn't say so much.
Yeah, the tier 1 bots getting cleaned up, not having the tankiness or the damage to do a lot against them. It looks like also we're getting pinged. This Thistle at the top left for Barcast is cute, but it's probably not enough. The game has kind of stabilized into, like, you know, Randy having 3/4 of the map, Barcast having just his corner base, but you know, there's basically just a lot of tier 1. We have a lot of tier 1 Thrashers, we have a bunch of Grunts, and that's going up against Tigers, Czars, Banishers, Grunts, Wasps, Dragons. It's a little bit of everything from Randy, and you gotta feel like he's just pulling further and further ahead, especially with this Aphis farm. Meanwhile, Barcast just fighting for his life, trying to live, trying to crawl his way back into the game, and he is struggling to say the least, but he doesn't want to give up, of course. Both these players going to be able to play after this match. Either the winner plays next week in the round of 8, or the loser is going to be playing against SlicklikeVik, who is my co-caster today. But what, you don't like your nickname?
That's not my nickname.
That's your nickname. It's a nickname. It's not, you know, it's the adaptation of SlicklikeVik. But
all right, we roll with it.
You roll with it. Yeah, no choice. So you know, they want to, you know, put their best foot forward. It's always tough too. Like, once again, to go back to the mentality of players, you don't want to quit. You want to always fight. but at the same time, continuing to fight when a game is lost is also mentally taxing, right? It's, Randy's cruising. He's thinking about how he can end the game. He's thinking about maybe what's going to happen next game. Barcast is like tilt playing maybe still, or he just feels like maybe he's still in the game, but he has to feel like it's curtains very soon. I personally would have already quit this game. I don't know about you. I feel like once it hits like maybe the 95%, loss possible scenario, I kind of give up. I'm not as bad as a lot of other people, but it's ideally you're just gonna keep playing. Barcast's gonna go for some D guns here. He does get quite a lot of value. His
Commander at
commanders,
7%.
yeah.
That's the lose condition right there. Does Randy realize it? Yes, he does. He right clicks now. Does he have vision of the commander? I don't think he does. There's
Oh,
no radar
Banisher
in the area.
shots! Banisher
Oh
shots going
my god.
wide. He was very close to dying. I mean, that's the kind of plays you have to do if you ever hope to come back. I don't think he has that window. Yeah, and it looks like he's gonna tap out.
Yeah.
Commander has died.
Can't blame him. You want to fight. You want to do that miracle comeback. You always want to put your best foot forward. But man,
Battle
what a
ended.
tough game. I feel like it was close for a long time. My worry is that Randy was being sincere. He never played this map, and he still won. And now, if we go into an older, more standard map, Barcast is going to really struggle. That's my worry. Oh, we're immediately in
Yeah.
too. Usually, isn't it like a minute or two of a break? I feel like I
I don't know.
always need a breather, like at least a minute, to calm myself, do some breathing exercises or something. They're just in there. Round two.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I need to take a breath.
Yeah.
These I get so easily stressed out of these high level
Yeah.
games. I have one of these watches that tracks your heart rate. It's always pinging at me that I'm about to die if I don't take a breath or whatever. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how these guys after such a long and difficult game, they just go again. They just go
Yeah.
again. I love it.
Yeah, good for them. Good for their significant others. They're just going back to back rounds. I feel like that's very typical of a guy. Like I struggle. I need more than a minute or two, I'm not my younger self. I need time, right?
Yeah,
And these
maybe some
guys,
water.
yeah, something.
Maybe crack open a window. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get you.
But these guys just right back into it. Is this
All right, so
party?
this
Yes,
yeah,
this is
this
the
is
third.
Pitak. Pitak asks that he's the basically John Barr.
John Barr, what does that mean? Like John Wayne?
No, he's like he's basically the guy that runs the project.
Ah,
Yeah, he's the CEO.
he's the CEO. Really? I
No,
didn't know that.
it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't work like that. It's like four guys, but he's the most active. Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
see.
want to bore you with the
Battle
details, but
started.
yeah, he's basically the
That's
guy.
cool.
Commander paused.
It's good. It's good to have him on the kind of competitive side, right? Because I feel like a lot of times with
Battle
games,
started.
there's always a question mark these days of like how much do you care, invest, prioritize the competitive scene or the high level scene, or how do you balance a game? Do you balance a game from like the top end or to the bottom end, or like for new players? It's good. Like he's not the best player, but he competed in a mega series, right? He did pretty well. He's a
He
high,
won.
yeah, high OS player. He
Yeah.
You got to assume that's good news for the competitive scene, that he's going to at least be an advocate to some degree for these types of events. I would love to see personally that if they had on the main donation site, if they had like a link to support the BPL or the Omega series or whatever. I know they have a donation link for the whole the whole
Hmm.
project
Hmm.
for Beyond All Reason. But if there was a side link for pre-approved tournaments, like, hey, we're gonna have BPL in a month. If you'd like to support BPL, here's a link. I think that'd be really cool. But obviously, I'm just thankful for Beyond All Reason in general. A great game I've loved. I haven't had to forcefully pay for anything, but obviously um, they're always welcoming donations. Obviously, everyone that's contributing to the project could be doing something else with their time, could be working a normal job and making a lot more money. The game has come very far, and I think, in general, like if there was a line graph of the player count or the general awareness or success of Beyond All Reason, as far as I understand, me and you have only been in it for, almost a year, but as far as I understand, it's more popular, more thriving than it's ever been.
Yeah, that's the word going around. Obviously, we don't have access to the numbers, and yeah, it's great that some of the developers are high level players. Definitely helps relate to what needs to be done for the competitive scene and stuff. But anyway, this game is already on its way, and we actually see something I'm really happy for. Both players are doing Armada vehicles. I myself am a believer that Armada vehicles is viable on this map, although it's very difficult. I would love to see them pull it off. Basically, the idea is the Blitz versus the Incisor. The Blitz is kind of a worse version of the Incisor in every way except for speed. And it's kind of my theory that a good player can use that to really, take the advantage.
Yeah, it's a big open map compared to the last map, the compost pile. What is it called again? Sorry. The
Devil's Post Piles.
Devil's Post Piles. This map is way bigger. Well, not necessarily bigger, but way more open, right? You have these 3 lanes, but it's very wide. There's a lot of paths. There's a lot of ways to get in. So Czars, kind of a lot of the bread and butter of core vehicles, probably less impactful, and maybe ARM seeing a little bit more of an opportunity. As you said, and I will take your word for it because I don't really know. I'm not particularly a vehicle player myself, but the blitzes might be a little bit stronger on this map, and it looks like you might be right. I mean, we're seeing both players play ARM vehicles. It does look like a little bit of flip here, where Randy opened up with a little bit more aggression, and Barkas was playing more defensive. So on the rock, paper, scissors battle, each of them kind of flipping their stances. It does look like, though, Randy is getting a little bit more damage than Barkas did last game. Of course, is it a little bit easier on this map, considering it's a little bit more open, a little bit more wide. You have more opportunities. Barkas actually not taking any damage, right? He's taking 70% damage on one max, 70% damage on a con, but if nothing dies and they can heal up, then really it's no damage at all. And it feels like advantage Barcast if he cannot lose this con, which he just lost.
Well, even though they're both playing the same faction and the same lab, they both opened very differently. Barkas going for that double con expand plus commander away from the lab, which means that it's a very slow start, right? Not much build power on the lab. Randy, on the other hand, only went for one con expand commander on the lab, so he's been pumping units this entire time, and he went for extremely early blitz. As I said, Randy always going for something that nobody else does. Nobody else does early blitz like that. It's paid off great so far. Basically, the entirety of Barcast's base is dead here.
I like the feeling of you're a player, and I feel like it was advantage Barcast. Like Barcast was getting, early expansions, a lot of value. And he doesn't know it yet, because, this is kind of like when you play against Kutchi, and Kutchi's cheesing you. And you would just assume, given the amount of units crossing the map, that as long as you can live, you're probably ahead. But as you have that mentality and you see your base blowing up, you realize, like, man, I'm kind of fucked here. And Barkas did have that advantage for a long time, but that one blitz doing so much damage. And it looks like he's just going to keep up the aggression. And he's going to sneak by. He does get 3 rovers in. One's going to come for the main base. The second, low HP, also going to run for the main base. And this third, and man, you got to feel for Barcast. He loses the first game. He has a good opener, and he's just a little bit sloppy on the defense. Overall, it was a good defense up until it wasn't, right? It only takes 1 unit. 1 unit in the back, especially a blitz, is going to just tear through windmills, mexes, whatever it can get a hands on. And Randy did a great job. He purposely targeted all those windmills, and Barkas is doing his best to recover. I don't think he's actually that far behind, right? We can see in the metal produced, he's quite ahead still. And like from a mentality standpoint, Randy, it just feels like he doesn't give a shit to some degree, and he's going to keep up the aggression.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say this game is over at all. Barkas had the advantage. Randy did a lot of damage. That metal produced lead was essentially all these dead windmills. So it's probably a 50-50 game now, but Randy has a lot more army on the field, and he made it into Barkas' base again. 3 of these metal extractors will go down again. Whatever's left of Barkas' base will probably go down again. This is a very, very tough position to play from. I think this might be too much now. I don't think the first wave was too much, but this might be too much.
Yeah, this is a lot. And then the mental game of it, right? It's so frustrating from Barkas' point of view. Even though he's not that far behind, losing your base on repeat, the stress of having to micromanage all of these things going wrong I probably would have quit. To be honest, I'd probably quit. Randy, he doesn't know where he's at necessarily, but he knows he did a lot of damage. You can see that although he's behind in the metal produced category, he is up in the metal per second category. It's nice that Barkas is so centered, right? He does have a great mentality for the game. He is very practiced. We saw him fighting that last game till the very end. So theoretically, he could pull himself back into this game, but you can see that Randy is just giving him no room to breathe. He's constantly harassing. I like this side base. You know, if he keeps blowing up
Yeah.
your main base, what's he gonna do? Blow up your other base? Probably, but you know, you're gonna do your best to account for that and get a second option. And it's not over. I mean, Barkas can reclaim these mexes. He can, you know, eat all of this metal on the ground or res it. He has options, but you got to feel that, like, just from the swing of things, the mental battle of things, Randy has to feel very good with what he's done thus far. And he's once again going to keep up the aggression. And these blitzes, man, the blitzes are so oppressive. If they get in, they do so much damage.
Yeah, you can't chase them. They're the fastest unit in tier 1. That's not a scout, obviously. Yeah, I don't hate the decision from Barkas for going to second base at all. I don't like that his commander is stuck. Oh my god, he
Oh,
deguns his way out of it. He's frustrated. You can tell. When you degun
yeah,
3 of your own
you could,
windmills.
yeah, you could eat it.
Yeah.
You could eat one, or you could just fucking beeline it.
You can just say like fuck this windmill, man, and
Yeah.
just shoot it. Yeah, but second base not bad. He lost all of his energy. He needs a way to spend that metal. Dropping a second base, not a bad decision at all. But the thing that sucks most about the situation is all the practice goes out the window. All the practice
Yes.
Barkas has done. Throw away the book. This is an entirely new game, an entirely new situation. You have not played a game like this recently for sure. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. I feel like Randy always tries to put people in situations like this. I felt the
Uncomfortable.
exact same way when I
Yeah.
played my game versus Randy on this map. Yeah.
That's a great insight. I completely, and it's Barcast. I mean, I think you were a little bit crazier than Barcast. I feel like Barcast to me is like the gold standard of like super safe, super standard. I want to get like a 51-49 advantage, and then I want to eke it out to 55, and then 60, yada yada. Where I feel like Randy is like bonkers. I'm just gonna do something, and it's up to you to react. And then you're somewhere in the middle, right? But that's the worst thing for Barcast, because Barcast probably has no clue. Like, he has no idea where he's at. He hasn't even been like into the middle of the map besides with like a couple units just scouting. He hasn't seen Randy's base. He has some idea.
Exactly.
There's like a mentality of he was super aggressive, and there's a calculus of like how much damage did he do, how much did he invest, but he really has no idea. And the biggest fear is like he could have the whole map, right? Realistically, he doesn't, but Barcast has no idea what's on the other side of the map. So he wants to push out, he wants to show a little aggression, and then based on the response of what he sees, like, does Randy counterattack? Does Randy try to meet his force? How many units does he have? He has to recalibrate, like, where am I at? And unfortunately, he's going to walk up and he's going to see that Randy's in the middle of the map. He doesn't know that Randy doesn't have the top right capped. But when you see these LLTs this far up, you naturally assume that he has the whole map, correct?
Yeah, definitely. You would think, oh shit, he's already in this entire area. He's got LLTs up here. If you haven't watched replays of Randy, you don't know he does this often. You'll definitely feel that way. But there we go. Another surprise attack from Randy. Another transition. He went air because he knew he had all that space. He went for 7 Banshees and is directly sending them for the main base again.
Oh, no.
It looks like they'll do very good damage actually. 3 Nettles are up and on the way. Banshees not really good into anti-air, but the Nettles are very fragile. They can go down very easily. And yeah, Randy's paying attention. He's focusing down all of the anti-air. Then he's going to switch to the build power and this space is gone. The space will be erased. I'm really not sure if Barkas will keep playing after this.
Yeah, I feel for Barkas. Because I honestly, I mean, I usually want to root for the underdog, right? And you feel like Barkas had a really good shot here, but Randy's aggression just put him on. Like, I think if we replayed this match, I would still give it like 60-40, 45-55, but Randy just exploiting every advantage that he can. And he's telling me he hates playing air, but this guy just keeps going air both games. I gotta call him out later on this. I don't know what happened, but I feel like also Barcast's a little tilted. Like, normally you would build one anti-air turret, then the next, then the next. You wouldn't build 3 simultaneously on 3 different constructors. And I just feel for my guy Barcast, you know? Like, I wanted him, especially on the second game after the first game was so close, for it to be closer, a tougher, better game, and he is just... That Whistler
That missile turret.
barely, yeah, almost gonna get out, but barely doesn't. It's just, sometimes you play these games and it feels like nothing can go right. Like you're so close, but everything is just barely not surviving, barely not able to get up. You barely almost hold, but that one blitz gets in and kills like 8 windmills. He had a good defense until that one blitz. He is gonna get his own anti-air out. He is so far behind though, and you gotta feel that these Banshees are just gonna clean up everything that's on the map.
Yeah, difference in energy per second is insane. Barca's down to 400, while Randy even has the Geo up. Oh my
Whoa,
god.
yeah.
Yeah, things are looking up if you're blue, but I'm not ready to call this game yet. Anything can happen in Bar. I'm not ready to call it. If Barcast is still in it, I am still in it. Let's go.
Yeah, and we saw from last game that he's a fighter, right? Like even though he was stuck in a corner, he was doing his best. He was trying to crawl himself back into the game. Barcast is very good at recovering from these types of situations. You got to feel like Randy's not going to let him breathe. He's going to keep up the aggression as he has all game. And it's almost in Barcast's favor that he doesn't know what's on the other side of the map at this point, right? If he knew that he had, these giant windmill farms, he had this Geo, he's getting a second Geo, he probably would GG, but it's good that he doesn't. He's just going to try to recalibrate, get back into the game. He does squeak out that last fighter, and then he eats his air lab. I think he's trying to find shortcuts, right? He doesn't
Huge
wanna...
D-guns incoming from Barcast. Huge D-guns. Oh my god, like 15 blitz. Oh, going down. No cloak, no anything.
energy.
Barcast still gets it.
He
No,
needs energy.
there's no way he dies. There's no way he dies here. Okay, he's good.
He's good. No, I don't know. There's more blitzes coming. He needs energy.
No, he's good.
Okay.
He's good, but more Banshee raids hit. They die though. The Banshees die. He has his own figs. Okay. Comeback incoming. Call me crazy.
You're calling it now. Okay, comeback locked in. He's still got a mountain to climb. But he is rezzing. Like, he's rezzing his main base. He's trying to retech his mexes. This is exactly what you want to do. I feel like in my experience with Bar, it's tough. Oh, man, these blitzes in the back still. Doing so much damage.
Into the natural. Not natural, but main base.
Yeah, 6 more windmills going down. More blitzes coming up the main. He just doesn't have the army. I don't know. I don't know. He's got to be close. He's trying to build LLTs in his main base. But it's just such a bad investment, right? You really don't want to overinvest in LLTs because they're not going to be able to fight for control for the rest of the map. But he doesn't have a choice, right? He doesn't have anything to contest these blitzes. And Randy actually going to int a little bit, I think, here. If he can keep the energy. It looked like he started out just for a second and these, oh no. Main base down 2x. Oh man, he's struggling. He's struggling. He's struggling to breathe. He's just being... Randy's got like a map that he hosed down and he threw on top of Barcast. And Barcast just can't... He can't get up. He's getting waterboarded by blitzes. It's just...
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not a nice spot to play from, but he keeps playing. You gotta respect it. You gotta love it. The second base is starting to look a little bit better. He's getting the build power, he's getting the energy up. Slowly gonna start spending that metal. And who knows? Another few good D-guns. Maybe this game will be back to 50-50.
Yeah, it's basically what he needs. He actually just stopped building windmills and he's walking his commander to the front, knowing that that's his only hope. He does need to try to turn this. It's so tough too when you're behind. You realize, like, yes, I need to defend, but at the same time, you can't stop expanding. He does degun, he misses the first one. Randy is just running into these LLTs, assuming that he's going to find damage. He's actually not going to really find much at all. He has this, like, 5, 6, 7, 8 LLTs sprinkled across his base. Hard to see, exactly where you can find those opportunities, but Randy's mindset is probably just, hey, pedal to the metal. If I can keep up the aggression, I keep macroing, I don't really care. I can throw bad unit into LLTs to whatever God's end I hope for, and it doesn't matter as long as I can keep macroing. Barcast, on the other hand, probably feels like, okay, he's inting a little bit. I maybe can come back here. It feels like he's just throwing units at me, but we'll see, at the end of the day what it ends up being. Right now, Randy, pretty far ahead. Decent income, both in metal and energy. You can see the bars are very one-sided. Barcast's gonna need another miracle, and it's very hard. Like, you feel behind, you feel like you need to defend. Barcast is doing what he is supposed to do, which I struggle with sometimes. Of even when you're behind, you still have to try to expand, try to retake metal extractors, try to regain control of the map. Because if you don't, you're gonna fall further and further behind. But at the end of the day, he just has to trade efficiently for the next 10 minutes, and it's a mouse against a lion at this point, right? Like you have to do good trades, but good
Yeah, he,
trades
he
are.
knows he knows he has to play greedy to come back because he's already so behind. So everybody's first instinct will be to, quick, make army, make army. I have to fight this, but he needs to expand. He knows that he's playing it well. But these bombers, I think this is an overwhelming air force. Barkas does not have the anti-air, does not have the fighters available to stop this bombing run. This will kill basically the entire base at the same time. A stout bow coming from the south. Barkas commander actually under fire now. Randy decides to switch, says, if I have all these bombers and he doesn't have any AA, I could probably kill his commander. Bombing a commander with tier 1 bombers is actually pretty tricky. It is sort of easy to dodge them if you're paying attention. It looks like Randy actually lost vision of the commander, and all the bombers
He's
are landing.
landing
Oh my god.
for Degon opportunity. I don't know if
Go,
it matters
go.
though. Randy at the
Go,
same time.
Barkas.
Yeah, just go Degon them. That's the victory we need. At the same time, Randy's ground army is pushing up too. Just a little pit stop for these bombers to refuel, you know? It's an unknown mechanic. Sometimes you gotta refuel them mid-flight if they're too far, too extended.
It's actually a lot of people often ask, do airplanes have to like refuel? Because there used to be like an air pad. People weren't sure what to use it for.
Oh, no showman.
Yeah. They removed it very recently. But this is, I don't know. If I know one thing about a situation like this is the easiest way to come back is if your enemy keeps leaving a lot of metal on your front door. It's basically kind of the only way. These bombers are now going to go down. There's enough AA available. These stouts, though, they look very scary. Yeah, these stouts are going to finish it. Damn. I was really hoping. I was on some heavy copium, but these stouts, they're just going to kill all the BP. All the labs are going to go down again. I don't know
Barkas is
if
getting
it's on the
surrounded.
cards.
He's gonna need some crazy Degons. Yeah, we're
You
just
can't
circling
take
the
me
mark.
alive.
Yeah, and he's gonna go down fighting. He's gonna lose it. He didn't have energy at the end of the day to Degon, and I just feel bad for Barkas because I feel like he didn't play his best,
Battle
right?
ended.
Like I don't feel like he played the game he wanted to play, and it's kudos to Randy for putting him on that back foot, right? Putting him in those situations, putting on the aggression, finding opportunities, and at the end of the day, Randy was the better player. I would love to see them somehow match up again later in the bracket if BCTV does make it out. As I say that, I realize that I'm basically rooting for your opponent by saying that, right?
No, it's so good. I understand. It's so good. I'd love to see these guys squared off again. GG's to Randy. Very cinematic games. 2-0, Devil's Post Pals, and Arcsim Cats. Yeah, I was really glad to be able to cast these games. They were great.
Hey,
Randy, I think, always puts on a good show.
I liked it as well. I think they were great games. I would have loved to see a game 3, and I am sad that Barkhouse did not get to play, quote unquote, his game. But at the end of the day, I mean, the first one was very close. The second one I felt like was close until the one blitz, right? That one blitz that ended up getting, I don't know, 7-8 windmills. It's very tough to come back from such an early game advantage. But you gotta respect both players. I mean, both these players are much better than me. Um, Autopilot in chat already calling Barcast for Slickle. Maybe
I think we'll play tomorrow.
tomorrow? Okay, maybe I'll try
I
to
think
hop
so.
into that too. Cast that by myself. I'll miss you, I'll miss my co-caster. It's obviously always easier to cast with two people, but is there any takeaways that you feel like you learned? Obviously, you've played and known these players for a while. I think we identified their strengths, their weaknesses and their strengths pretty well. Uh, I don't think you're too crazy like Randy, but do you feel like you see an advantage in which he played?
I mean, it's really hard to call it right now. And if I did see an advantage, I would like to not, say it out
Yep.
publicly like this.
Yeah, sure, sure. So
But
you'll show it tomorrow. If you do see something, you watch the
yes,
replays, you'll try to exploit it tomorrow.
yeah, I'll show it tomorrow. Yeah, I'll try to do it tomorrow.
All right. Well, cool. I appreciate you taking the time to co-cast with me. I wish you the best of luck tomorrow. If it's at a reasonable time, maybe I'll try to get up and try to cast it tomorrow. But thanks again for joining me, and
It
GG's.
was a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. Would love to do it again in the
All right.
future.
Good luck. Good
Yeah.
luck. Have fun tomorrow. I hope you put on some great games.
Thank you. Thank you. Good
All
luck
right.
to you as well
All right.
with the
Bye
cast.
bye. All right. That's it for me, guys. I might actually just play some 8v8s after this, but as far as the YouTube video goes, I hope you enjoyed the cast. Of course, I am HuK. You know, if you're asking in the comments that HuK, yes, that HuK. I am that professional SC2 former pro player. Now just a regular normal bar guy that's like pretty good but not too good, not good enough to go up against the players that we're spectating right now, maybe good enough to take on my co-caster that will be competing tomorrow. That co-caster of course is SlicklikeVik, a very good player in his own rights, you know, someone that's been playing Beyond All Reason for about a year, similar to myself. He will be playing tomorrow in the final match of this GSL group, that is group. Let's see. Let's actually take a look at the groups. That is not the right tab. That is not the right tab. So it is this group B, actually. We see it's rANDY, SlicklikeVik, Modulo, and BCTV. This has not been updated, but I think the first match was rANDY versus SlicklikeVik. rANDY did squeak out that victory against SlicklikeVik, and then we had Modulo versus BCTV. BCTV won that match, so winners play, which is the match we just saw, which was rANDY versus BCTV. rANDY won that, so he moves up to the round of 8. BCTV is going to go to the decider match. SlicklikeVik played against Modulo. SlicklikeVik won, so he is going to go to the decider match, and Modulo is out. So tomorrow, theoretically, hopefully, they're still scheduling the game, but I assume it will be tomorrow based on the schedule. We will have SlicklikeVik versus BCTV for the final match. Winner moves on to the round of 8 next week. Loser is out and will join Modulo on the stands, casting, whatever they choose to do. I will keep you guys updated when I can for that match, but I wanted to say thank you once again to the competitors, rANDY and BCTV, for putting on some good games, and thank you to SlicklikeVik, my co-caster for the day, and good luck to him tomorrow for competing. All right, let's hope for some great games tomorrow. All right, peace out, bye-bye, see you later.